This Christmas, Everybody Wins Live is giving you a chance to win a gift of a lifetime. A brand new fully deeded home. From November 21st to December 26th, every time you play $10 or more, you're one step closer to the keys to your future home. More play means more entries and more chances to win big. Play in-store or online today. This holiday, go beyond winning. Go home for the holidays, only with Everybody Wins Live. Remember to game responsibly.
Hey y'all, this is John Quell Jones.
This is Mike Strong with the Indianapolis Colts.
Yo, it's your boy Buddy Hill. This is Jazz the Kid Chisholm.
Klay Thompson of the Golden State Warriors.
And you are logged into
10th year seniors.
10th year seniors.
10th year seniors.
10th year seniors.
You're logged in with 10 year senior.
You dig?
Welcome to the Accredited, powered by 10th year seniors here on Guardian Radio 96.9. I'm Ronaldo, and it cold, boy.
I'm John Mark, and I've never seen someone wear 17 layers of clothes.
I don't know what one is expected to do when faced with frigid conditions and have to travel and work in frigid conditions. And I also don't like that we have this hyper-masculine attitude towards being cold. I am going to wear as many layers as possible for me to stay safe.
I mean, I guess I'm a little different because when I start moving, maybe because I'm fatter, it's one of those things I create more body heat. So I just get a little hotter when I start moving.
No, this you trying to be tough. The Accredited is, of course, brought to you by Everybody Wins Live, the sports book, the biggest, the best sports book in the country, the ones that are responsible for you listening to this fine program each and every Saturday. Be reminded that you can also find us on demand on this 10YS Podcast Network, SoundCloud, Apple Pods, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. There's enough Accredited to go around. Back to John and being absolutely wrong about being cold.
I mean, sure I'm cold, but I have heard that sevens are very lucky.
Listen, lucky number 7. Lucky number 7, man. What a time. So the reason we are on the road, the reason why this is not your traditional format is because as we record this, we are currently in Philadelphia, and we're here for the week because it's a big time for Bahamas basketball.
Yeah, you would think more people from Bahamian media would be here, but we got you guys. We got you.
We're going to get to that. So one game is in the books. Thursday night. By now, it's been all over the media, all across the world. Maybe more of you now pay attention to it because international media has started to pay attention to it. But when the NBA schedule comes out, and we do this, by the way, we do this every year. Whenever the NBA schedule comes out, we look at the dates that are most beneficial to the Bahamian players, and we try to figure out, hey, when should we be on the road to capture these moments? Because they may just be regular games to NBA fans and to people just watching, but it has to mean more to us. And so when we saw that this was going to be a week where VJ was going to be playing against Buddy for the first time, VJ was going to be playing against DA for the first time in the same week here in Philly, that was earmarked for, we got to go. We got to be there.
Even though we knew it was going to be cold.
Yes, December in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, not the greatest of times, but
it's always sunny in Philadelphia?
That is a lie.
That is a lie. But yeah, no, we see the schedule come out, and I went to Ronaldo. I was in Chile when I said, hey, the schedule came out. We have to be going to these games because what is the other opportunity we're going to have this season to catch every single Bahamian who has played in the NBA, and not every single Bahamian, the chance to catch Michael Thompson with the Lakers radio broadcast team, catch every single Bahamian who is associated with the NBA to a point to be like, hey, 1 week, get all the content. And everybody knew, you could just say VJ already gets attention, Buddy gets attention. You knew this was going to just be a big deal.
The Michael Thompson part is a huge one. I didn't even remember how important that was to get him, but then that also had me thinking, yeah, and then you also get Chris, because before Chris DeMarco leaves the Warriors to tend to the Liberty, this is pretty much one of his last road trips that he has on the bench with Golden State. So for him to even have that moment as the national team coach, to see these guys share the floor together, huge for Bahamas basketball. But we saw that, we noted that, and we figured we had to be there to be a part of this. And it's special because everybody knows how special VJ is. Like, we've known how special VJ was for years, and what he's done over the last 2 years only amplified that, right? So that made it even more important than you had to be there. Because let's be real, this is not just somebody on the fringes of the NBA. This is somebody who's on the trajectory to be a bona fide star, and his story is so
trajectory. You're disrespecting my boy.
Trajectory
this dude is a star.
Okay, first of all, trajectory is not a pejorative term. That's not disrespectful. But this is someone who everybody pretty much knows, man. It's a reason everything he does goes viral. And the fact that he had the backstory with Buddy, the fact that his story was tailor-made for this kind of moment, because you have the visual moments of him at the camp. You have all of that leading up to this moment. So you would think you got to be there, right?
So here's my take with it. I feel like we all know VJ started off his career great, right? But he was waiting for us.
he was waiting for us.
He was waiting for us to get that game win and say, you know what? I got to give you guys something. I got to make sure when you come here, I'm going to take care of y'all. And he took care of us.
I want to get to the game where I want to get to specifics, because y'all are going to have to hear about some behind the scenes things that 10YS gets into whenever this kind of thing rolls around. But I want to start here, right? Because when we started this line of thinking, we said a big part of this was understanding the moment. And I feel like there's a lot of criticism about Bahamian media. There's a lot of criticisms we make. There's a lot of criticisms that's made about us. Some of it fair, some of it unfair. Doesn't matter. But I
think
think
what we criticize is fair, though. It's always right.
Yeah.
Just saying. I mean, I'm just going to throw that disclaimer out that the views and opinions are ours.
Brad Hanna already did that. Brad Hanna threw the disclaimer out there. But understanding the moment and being a tastemaker is such a big part of this that I don't think people get how huge that is, because it's not as simple as just saying score and details of what happened. Knowing when to do things and how to do things, I feel like that's something that's completely underscored, and I think people don't really get. So understanding the moment and knowing how big this is, that's a huge part of it, right? Because I don't think everybody got that. I don't think everybody was in tune with that.
No, they're not. It's like I said, this is something where it should have been celebrated. And the reason why it should be celebrated is we have times where when Jazz were with the Marlins, the government would have something, right? This is something that we knew months in advance. There was no reason why there couldn't have been a conversation with the team to make it a Bahamian night type thing, because these are two players who are playing. Even with DeAndre, you make it a Bahamian week type thing. Like, I know now we're doing other people's jobs about marketing and stuff, you know. I guess we're not the smartest people in the room, apparently, but apparently we ain't the dumbest people in the room.
I mean, we just don't have the people with the biggest checks listening to us. That's the only difference between us and the other people. Like, it's not that they have good my problem is a lot of the people that are in those positions are not the tastemakers that you should be listening to, or they're not the people that are in the know to understand how important these things are.
It's funny. So before we got here, I was talking to someone from another news company in the Bahamas, right, who was trying to come to this game but couldn't make it. Big news company, you know, like maybe the staple of the Bahamas, right? You might be able to catch it on antenna.
Only the sun shines.
Only sun, yeah.
Only the sun
covers
the Bahamas.
Yes. So, anyways, I was talking to him, and because the whole thing is, we're a small enough media market, where it's just like, hey, we go on this trip. You coming on this trip? Because you try to make everything work. Like, what are we trying to hide? If we all go on this trip, we all know what we're here for.
Full disclaimer on that, we are not like the weirdos that run around thinking that this is...
Ronaldo Dorset asked a lot of questions this trip.
We are not the weirdos that run around thinking this is full competition and I have to beat out person A and person B. No, that's not our approach to this, because we're all chasing after the same thing.
Exactly. But I was talking to him and I said, man, we're going to put up some numbers this week. Like, I already know that. I already know we're putting up numbers. And the numbers right now are pretty insane. Like, when you look at a small social media account that, you know, and like I said, now that the NBA is posting it, everyone thinks that we're big time when we were posting it before them. Like the NBA posted something today. That's great. Guess what?
They should have tagged us in that.
They should have tagged us in that. But we got posted. We posted it.
We need to message the NBA and say, hey, add us as collaborators.
Boy, I know how that go work because the NBA is kind of difficult this year.
Yeah, I get it. But I think our biggest point in this is this didn't become big time because you have the international media paying attention to it. How did we not know this was big time? Because that is always our cry and our no, not we as in me and you, but I mean when I say we as a collective, I really mean the Bahamas more than anything else, right? I really mean the things that we decide to pay attention to. This is the type of
game where you approach the NBA as government and say, we want to televise these games. What do we have to pay for the rights so this could be televised in all of the Bahamas? Because these are moments, like I said, the caption you wrote yesterday, these moments, they don't get old. And guess what? We're going to have another moment on Sunday, which is going to be just as crazy. And it's going to be a lot easier to get content because we know both of them could be starting. Unlike this game where Nick Nurse and Steve Kerr almost messed up our flow with these rotations.
What do you think it is? Because, I mean, we have this conversation a lot, right? But there's a disconnect for me because I don't understand why we don't have the foresight to see why these things should be prevalent, to see why these things should be, because they serve as so much. Like, people are watching this and people from everywhere else are being inspired by the story of these two dudes from this little country getting to this point, and you can see the camaraderie and the joy they share. Like, everyone, the entire international media is being inspired by that. How do we not see the value in that? Because we have been there before. From we started doing 10YS, we've been having these conversations.
I don't know. And like I said, this is something where you would think developing country in basketball, Buddy has a camp. He's a part of, it's pretty much his first elite camp. Because remember, Buddy did the high school game the year before. Then he said, no, I'm going to do a camp. So you have a kid, and this is the stories that you want coming out of these countries, these lesser developed basketball countries, as we'll say. Because Buddy had a camp, VJ was there, first camp, someone's now in the league. When VJ has a camp, it just gives opportunity and chance saying, no, we had these camps, we've done it, and guess what? It may be one. It doesn't matter if it's one or if it's two, if it's three. You have one.
One is amazing.
One person out of a 400,000 population to be like, he went to my camp, he was mentored, he made the NBA. And it's just like, whoa. Like that's a whoa moment for me, because it's like, granted, I kind of had a feeling he was going to be great from when he was young.
Yeah,
I mean, one of those things. I keep going on with that. But
very well documented.
Yeah, but it's just like it's just a wow moment. Like, I posted on my social media, like the picture of him playing at Gateway, the picture of him with Buddy. Then he was with Buddy with national team. Like, I've seen VJ go from Gateway Christian to high school in the States to making a name for himself to going to national team, going to the draft. And for me, this is a game I wasn't going to miss. Like, regardless of what, even if I wasn't credentialed, I wasn't missing this game. Like, this was something where I would have finessed my way in. We kind of did finesse our way in. Let's just
when we get to the actual story about us,
let's just put it that way.
It's
just one of those moments where I'm like, this is what it's about. Like, this is why you want to document history. This is why the people are looking at it. Like, we read a bunch of the comments. Someone said this should be in the airport. The hell, it should be in the airport, but y'all better pay me my money if you're going to put this in the airport. I'm hoping, and realistically, the goal would be print pictures out, have Buddy and VJ sign it, frame it, put it up somewhere. I see that Buddy Buddy say he's already retiring VJ's number in his rafters, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, if Buddy gets that photo and he blows it up, and he might put that inside his gym, because these are special moments. Remember, this is a 9-year veteran, 10-year veteran in the NBA who now has a moment where it's just like he lost the game, but he's so proud of what he's seen.
It was so much bigger than who won and lost.
Yeah, it's so much bigger because it's just like VJ's doing his thing.
So, like, you called it a wow moment. My thing is, since we started doing this for real, 2014 and 2015, we've had so many of these wow moments. And there's been so many times when, if us, a small private company, just off of our own whim, decide that this is important enough where we gotta go and we gotta get this done, and there's people need to document it. One of the reasons why we even started 10YS is we always used to say, growing up, the things that we were interested in, the things that we wish we could find out about, not documented, especially in our space when we are children of the social media age. Not documented. We can't find out about things when we were younger. Look how much we wanted to learn about the Tournament of America's team that went in 95. I had to go ask players on the team about that, but there's nowhere I could go to find that documentation. We don't have it.
Especially your own, because see, the Bahamas, and I'll bring in Jamaica, like I said, the lesser developed countries are always going to be the darlings. They're always going to be like, oh, it's fire and a quick fire, where it's like, this is great content for the NBA. It looks so good for us. It's this and that. We do this all year round. Like, this ain't nothing new. Like you say, people who say, well, Bahamas basketball's making it big time because the NBA posted it. I want people to ask this question. Who asked that question?
It would have never been posted if we weren't there, if we weren't sitting in the press conference room to say something
and
about
that's
it.
Not us tooting our horn. Like I said.
But I believe sometimes we need to
No, you
go.
need to toot. Yeah, but I'm just saying that's just us doing our job to make sure what's known. Because what happened was, so after the game, are we going to go into the game stuff?
We don't want to go there.
Yeah.
I just had one more point, right, about us starting this and realizing this is only one wow moment of many, because there are so many where we just said, forget what anybody else is doing. People got to learn about this. So right off the top of my head, I think when Tum Tum was making that run at the Elite Eight, when it was him and Buddy meeting at the same place in Syracuse, they were in the same bracket, and we thought, no, we have to be there to document this. NCAA tournament is a huge deal for two Bahamians to actually be a part of the same bracket where they could actually make a run. That's huge. Buddy making his run at the Final Four the following year when he became the best player in college basketball. We were like, no, we got to be there. I didn't even get clearance from the Tribune to go. I called them from the airport and was like, look, I go into Houston.
I mean, apparently there was a celebration going on at that time. Luciano's, I think it was. There was something going on, and Buddy was playing Oregon, and I booked the tickets right there.
Oh. We had to be there. We had to do this. Like, think about 8 or 9 Bahamians being in the World Baseball Classic. And we just said, no, we have to be there. Because you know why? Once we had this, because I remember when they were playing in Brooklyn a few years before, and nobody was there.
No one.
Nobody was there. You had 7 or 8 Bahamians on that
Jazz
WBC.
was on that team.
Jazz was on that team. But nobody was there at that point to realize the foresight and how important it is. No Bahamian media house was there. There was nobody to document it. So when that time came around again and they were in Arizona, we said, you know what? It's impossible for that to ever happen again, not under our watch. So we got to go there and do that. How are these people not doing this?
Is it a politician?
I don't know. I don't
someone
even know.
Get beat or something?
I don't even know who. I don't know.
People
who
looting ships?
Dog.
Because that's the only thing. Like, see, here's the thing. We're so prideful as a country of when this thing happens. It's just like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing ever. But it's to me, it's almost like funding when you come to these federations and sports. Nobody wants the fun, but everyone wants the glory.
We can't care because other people care. We can't all of a sudden on the back end decide that this is a big deal now because you see the NBA post it and some other people start to care about it. I feel like this was the same thing that happened with all of them. And I feel like this even happened with Jazz. We're going to talk about that some more when we get to baseball. But like you said, Jazz was on that WBC qualifier team and nobody really cared. Like, we didn't start caring until he got thrust into the spotlight from the international media. I just want us to have some foresight with our own people and do that first before everyone else gets to it.
So when Jazz made the big leagues, it was COVID. And I remember I was flying in from Arizona and I messaged the Marlins. And I said, hey, any way I could get in this game during COVID now. You know, COVID was a crazy time. They're like, nah, ain't gonna happen. And I was just like, all right, can't say I ain't try. You know what I'm saying? And I tried plenty. And plenty of times it has worked. Go figure. But Sebastian Walcott's going to be coming up soon, and nobody's praising him. And then when he gets to the big leagues, everyone's going to be praising him. We got to clip this moment of history right now and be like, hey, don't forget, y'all ain't checking for him now. But when he makes it, then everyone can say, oh, I knew from the start.
You know the game. You live for the rivalries.
the buzzer beaters, the Hail Marys. At Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook, we're built for that energy because we're built for players. Better odds, faster action, smarter bets. Visit everybodywinslive.com or drop into an EWL location and feel the difference. Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook. Let's talk about how things started for us, and let's start from the pregame, right? The pregame vibes. Sometimes we do these things and it's very ad hoc. Like, we don't actually know if they're gonna happen, but we just decide that, forget it, we got a ball. So we didn't know how the credential process was going to work. We just know we had to be there. Like, we just knew we were gonna have to jump through several hoops to make this happen. But if that's what you got to do, that's what you got to do, right? So the pregame vibes, after John did his best Johnning, and this is what I call him going through his labyrinth of connections and networking. I think it was about, maybe an hour and a half before game time?
Yeah. So, okay, let's put the thing first, right? So we didn't get credential for this game from the get-go. Mm-hmm. That's just how it is. And finally, when I was able to reach someone, they said, oh, we have to submit XYZ. XYZ was submitted. And I was told they're going to check on this game for me, right? And I said, all right, cool. Days passed, nothing. I was like, all right, cool. We still going to Philadelphia. So then I contacted the PR guy who I met at the draft, because that was one of those things. I was looking for the 7 because I had a feeling he was going 3 regardless, right? So I looked for the guy, introduced myself to him, told him who I was, what I did with basketball, federation, all that type of stuff, right? Cool. We get here. Oh, no, we didn't get it. I emailed them a couple days before we left and said, hey, we're coming up to Philly, XYZ.
Trying everything.
Looking to go to shoot around. And then he emailed back and he said, yeah, that's not going to be a problem. Right? And I was like, all right. We might not get in the game. I mean, I was going to get to the game regardless what it was, right? Even if I had to watch it as a fan. But I was like, all right, we get to the game, or we get to shoot around. And it's just like, cool, you have that relationship. So then, yeah, we're looking, and I'm like, bro, we didn't get an update from the NBA. What do? I try to call Brandon. Brandon didn't pick up.
The PR
guy,
yeah.
the
76ers.
That's my boy. Boy forever. Like, he come to the Bombers, he's straight. He know that. I already told him. So I called Brandon, and I just said, hey, Brandon, just checking in, because I was supposed to get an update. I never got one. We're credentialed for the Lakers games, which we got credentials for the Sunday game. I said, is there any way you could help us out with that? He responds back probably in like 10 minutes. And it was a long 10 minutes. I'm not going to lie. I was already in my coat already, dressed up, ready to go outside. Niall had the 17 layers of clothes
All
on.
17.
Just because he was cold, regardless.
Didn't even know we was leaving?
Nope.
That's just how I rolled.
And then he responded back and he said, hey guys, yeah, we could accommodate y'all, but you guys are going to have to sit in the penthouse of the stadium. I said, I don't care. I said, once we're in, because the goal of that thing was, we knew we could get game action anywhere from the NBA. It's getting the post-game stuff. And this is how lucky things are. Like I said, DeMarco knew we were coming. DeMarco hooked me up with the PR guy from the Warriors.
Yeah.
Well, he called me. Then I was able to hook up with the PR guy from the 76ers. And then it goes to, all right, we get to the stadium an hour before tip-off, which we never do. We always get there like 2.5 hours before.
We've never done this. I want to put a pin in there, and just based on everything you're saying, and realize that all of this happens based on the connections of being there and people actually knowing the value and worth of the work.
Yeah.
And always being around.
And then they know what we're there for. And it also, the Philadelphia media knows, they know who we are, some of them. So,
because at shoot around, when we go to shoot around and you see how different the relationship is that VJ and Eric have with us than you would with traditional media.
And I would say shout out to the Philly media, because what happened was they assign who's going to be talking, right?
Yeah.
And then when I asked for VJ and Eric, they said, yeah, we got y'all. And the Philly media didn't even approach when we had them, because I think they had a feeling we weren't really talking about game stuff.
No.
We were going for Bahamian-centric stuff. But like I said, we got there hour before the game, and I said, let me go walk by the court. When I walk into the court, guess who's walking into the locker room? Shavano Buddy Hield.
Which is a story in itself, because Shavano ain't reach until game day.
Yeah, he reached on game day. So, yeah, and I say, hey, buddy, just like that. And he turns around, and, the security looks to me like he's getting a little too close to this locker room. And then Buddy comes down and hails me and dasks me up. And I tell him, I said, yeah, bro, after the game, we got to get something. And it's like, all right, cool, Buddy, bet. And then he goes to the court or whatever it was. And then the game started.
Game time now. Let's get to game time. VJ obviously starts the game, and you could tell this was going to be one of those special moments, right? Because he hits the straightaway three from the top of the key, and it's so funny because I saw him when we were at shoot-around. I saw him make that shot 7 times in a row. I counted, and I was like, he hitting one of them in a big spot tonight. Turns out it was on one of the first few possessions of the game, so I was like, oh, we do for a big time VJ game, because what did he say before in the video that we shared very early on? His goal is to come in here and make an impression because he's trying to kill Buddy.
I trying, you see?
He's trying. See what I'm saying? Also, we made history by we have to be the first people to get an NBA player to say, see what I'm saying in an interview.
See what I'm saying? And I trying to kill him.
That's never made it. But so we knew VJ was going to make that effort, right? We needed them to be on the floor at the same time. And it felt like Nick Nurse and Steve Kerr wasn't understanding the assignment, because every time VJ would sub out, Buddy would sub in. And it went on and on like that. I think they shared the floor for maybe 10 seconds.
So, it was the first quarter, and Buddy was in the game, and I'm watching. And I look, and I see VJ get up 1:30 on the clock, right? I remember like it was yesterday. But all of a sudden, I say, all right, cool. I need a dead ball. They ain't want foul. They playing cute. Yeah. Oh, this is great. Basketball, flow. And I was like,
that's exactly how it happened.
I was like, this is not what I want to see. So anyways, he gets in the game with like 30 seconds left, right? And I said, this is terrible, because that gives them, it's the end of the quarter. They're trying to get the basket. And then I said, this ain't going to be no fun basketball, right? So they get on the court, and I have pictures, and I'm going to show Ronaldo the pictures later, and they were crappy. I was like, these ain't even.
So halftime on the concourse, we met up on the concourse, and we was like, but the content looking sketchy. I don't know. We got to figure out, because we always go with the plan B if things ain't according to plan. That's just a part of the job. That's just what it is. We was like, but we may not get what we was hoping to get out of this, but we got to start pivoting into thinking of things on the macro level, not making it about the micro, because we ain't gonna get nothing from this game if they ain't letting it happen. They're not even having the moment next to each other on the floor.
No.
Because even the Sixers was looking for it. That's why they had the pregame shot, but then that's all anybody had until the fourth. And the only reason the fourth became a big deal is because this game could have easily been a blowout. Because Sixers went up by 24.
Shout out to Buddy.
Exactly, and that's where we're going to go with this, right? Sixers went up by 24, no Steph, no Jimmy. Draymond went out. No reason for them to do anything there on the first night of a back-to-back. No, they're not the back-to-back. But anyway, no reason for them to actually make this push on the road, but Buddy comes in playing on both. He's picking up Tyrese Maxey full court. Now, ain't nobody stopping or slowing down Tyrese Maxey. Ain't nobody stopping Tyrese Maxey. He averaging 30
I know.
points a game.
When I saw, because I say, here's the thing with Buddy. Buddy plays so hard.
But
Buddy loves basketball.
That inspired the rest of the Warriors.
I understand that. And I looked at it and I said, of course, of all the players Buddy got to be on, it got to be Maxey. Hey, and I was like, Maxey was going to cook anyone, like you said.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. And I said, of course it's going to be Buddy. Yeah. Of course. And I was just like, oh, I wanted that. But really, I stood in the same spot for 3 quarters, hoping to get the moment. And then when the fourth quarter started, I saw VJ get up and he walked in the game. And I messaged you. I said, finally. And the best part about that was they had the interaction.
Yes.
They had the interaction where it was like, I could finally talk to you on an NBA court.
It made me think that one of them had to say something.
Of course.
Like somebody had to say something.
But you saw the interaction at the beginning, right?
Yeah.
Where they were together. And that's the picture I have. Like, VJ was messing around with him and he pushed them on the court. Like, and then Buddy looks at the ref like, whatever. But I guess the refs understood what the moment was too.
Right.
But it was just like, when I took that picture, I said, I got it. Like, I was just like, I got it. Like,
so you came back to the media workroom because we was
I stayed up there and I took like 7,000 photos of them, got some video.
But once you came back, it was like, all right, this is as good as it's gonna get. We have what we need. Or so we thought. right?
Yeah.
Because the game got close. Well, by now y'all know what happened. The game got close, and then all of a sudden, from out of nowhere, as the game is getting close, we are sitting there wondering over the last 4 minutes, well, you think they could put VJ back in the game? Because, I mean, they just watched the lead just dwindling down. VJ comes back into the game with 1:12 left and literally makes every winning play down the stretch.
Steals.
Deflection. Steals. He was involved in every play. Even the out of bounds play that they had to challenge, he was just around the ball for every single play.
Yep.
And comes up with the game winner. For the first few seconds, I didn't even know it was him that made the game winner until we saw the replay. But that's how it was so indicative of the kind of player he is, and it leaves you wondering, what exactly is Philadelphia doing?
I don't know.
Anyway, it was the perfect ending.
Shout out to Merrick's too, though, for helping the cause, because Merrick's was able to get some stuff. And that's, see, this is the whole point. This is why you have your networks and teams and everything.
Absolutely.
Like, you know people who can help you get stuff in the moment, because we could be there, but we're not going to capture everything. Like, it's going to be impossible to capture everything.
You could if
you have a
more
team of
media
6 people.
if you have a team of 6 people or more media houses were actually there and we could actually share content.
Yeah, because you could go with a game plan. But yeah, no, it's just like, the NBA has strict rules about video
But for that to
taping.
happen, people have to actually care about this in the first place.
And all of that. So it's
really.
just like, at the point when I was content with what I had with the content, as everyone, you just go and then you just like, all right,
Start to work on it
start
because
working
you need to publish it.
because you're there for work.
Yeah, you got to publish it.
Yeah, you're there for work.
Yeah.
You're not thinking about a ton of other things going on. And yes, the game is one aspect of it, but also, like I said, the moment was bigger than the game.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, for us, the moment was bigger than the game.
That just happened to be a perfect story, but the moment was going to be what the story was anyway. This just amplified everything. And to show you the power of how this small place and just paying attention to things like we started talking about earlier, being in the press conference, asking the Bahamas questions or putting the Bahamas spotlight made everybody pay attention. Because when I asked that question, literally all the reporters turned and looked at me. Because they were like,
Ronaldo Dorset
I'm not
spoke
doing
to
that.
VJ Edgecombe
I'm not doing that.
after the game winning shot.
No.
No,
No.
I'm just saying.
No, none of us do that. But this was an incredible experience. We get to repeat it tomorrow when DA comes into town, and that is why this week is such a big deal. But when we come back, we are going to talk about more things that Bahamians didn't care about. We're going to go to the Diamond and talk about some baseball being played locally at the Caribbean Cup and why y'all ain't out there. Game on, Bahamas. The all-new Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook is where sports fans turn picks into play. From football to basketball and everything in between, we've got the odds that move with the game. It's fast, it's fun, it's built for players who know their stuff. So grab your picks, lock in your parlay, and feel the win with Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook. So the Caribbean Baseball Cup, the 7th edition, this is, I think, the 4th time it's hosted at home, 3 times with the seniors and once for under 15.
3 times already?
Yeah. Yeah.
How many have we been to?
Remember, we've been to all except for this one.
Yeah.
I mean, listen,
They picked a bad time.
like you said, when this came out on the NBA schedule, we knew we had to be here this week. It just happens that way, right? This is my thing. Every other year we've done the Caribbean Cup, you saw what the traction was like and the kind of following that it had, especially the social media presence. Like, why that ain't happening now? And because I don't want to do a whole it should be about us thing, because it ain't about us. It's about having a bigger presence in general. But anyway, so a lot of people were complaining. The Bahamas had a thrilling win on opening night against USVI.
As we always do.
As we always do. We could beat USVI on our first night. Deshaun Knowles hits the walk-off single in extra innings. Great way to start. How much people can our stadium hold?
I think it's 5,000.
5,000?
I mean, if you're getting stretched, you could put like 6,000 in there.
Yeah. Talking to some people who were there,
100 people?
Maybe between like 150 to 200 people. 200 on a good day on the back end, right? What are the things that people usually
Complain about?
Complain about and
Price
fault
point?
is what? They complain about price point. They complain about
Time.
lack of promotion. They complain about time. They complain about a lot of stuff. But I feel like all of that is, all of that is some I can't say the words I would usually say on a podcast, but flimsy excuses, right? You just don't want to. Like that's really all it is. You just don't want to. We just don't have the culture where we support these kind of things and support sports in general. That's just what it is. And I'm almost at the point where I don't even know how much talking about it, because we don't chastise people about it. I don't know how much talking about it is going to change anything.
It's not going to change anything for Bahamian, because that helps with your promotion.
That I don't understand. I don't know if it's the regional body, Kopabe or Kokabe or whichever one it is. I don't know if it's an LOC thing. I don't know where people got this idea of this pay-per-view that all of these people are going to watch, because that's not going to happen.
No.
I can tell you all now. Knowing Bahamians, they are not signing up to watch these baseball games on pay-per-view. That is not going to happen. You can build a following if you get more people just watching it for free. And sometimes you got to take that hit. Bahamians are not familiar with these players. They know 2 baseball players. They know Jazz and maybe a kid in their family. That's it. They don't know them. We do.
But see, here's the thing with this, and this is what I'll keep saying. Even FIBA, when these Bahamas games are going on, they broadcasted it free on YouTube, because they know, and that just goes to show with the pay-per-view, if they're going to broadcast it for free in the Bahamas, then no one from the Bahamas is buying these pay-per-views, but they want to get the product out.
But I don't understand why they even think that's a good business model. I would love to see what the numbers would look like. And even if
their business model is this, and this is what everyone always says. If you sell for $1 and 1,000 people get 1,000 people ain't signing up for $1, because you know what they can say? That's too expensive.
They're not gonna do it. We already have a small baseball community locally. The amount of people that are actually gonna come out and go watch a baseball game is very small. And the thing is, this is a very talented team that they established. You got players like Chavez Young was literally, I always say this, I feel like Chavez was one injury away from being in the majors. Yep. Deshaun, same thing. Tanaj, same thing. Like, you have legitimate pro players. Chavez, Fernandez. This is probably one of the best bullpens that we have had in a minute, just because you have Tanaj, you have Chavez, and you have Tyreek Sherman, who had that game where he beat Cuba in the Pan Am qualifiers. You have some legitimate college talent on this team. So this is by no means the fault of the team that's on the field. Like, we ain't talking about the team on the field. We're talking about everything else. So if people don't know the players, right? And baseball is a tough sell to begin with, because like we were just talking about in the first segment with VJ, you could see VJ play in college. You know, once VJ got drafted, he could be in the NBA in a couple months. You watch him on TV. Don't work like that in baseball. In baseball, they getting signed 16, 17. They pretty much disappeared.
In the Bahamas, where was everyone?
Well, the national team game against Canada wasn't even sold out, like how things used to look in the day. But the baseball players disappear for a couple of years, and then they come back if they make the majors, and then you know who they are then. Because let's face it, you wasn't really following Jazz when he was in the Diamondback system, or when he was in the Marlins system,
or Christian Robinson,
or any of them.
Remember,
right?
And I keep telling people, at one point in time, the number 1 prospect
and the
number 2 prospect for the Diamondbacks were Bahamians.
Nobody was trying to go to those games then either. But anyway, because of that, baseball is a tough sell outside of friends and family and people that probably interested in the sport. So how do you reach these people? How do you get them interested in this? How do you do that? How do you sell? How do you market it? It's not going to be because you're giving away t-shirts. It's not going to be because you have this pay-per-view for these games. It's not going to be because you hire some people to do social media who don't have a following and they post things that aren't really gaining traction anywhere. Because you also got to understand that platform matters, right?
Platform matters, and knowing what to post matters.
So how is it that we're here in Philly eagerly trying to find updates of the game in real time, because we want to know what's happening. We want to have stuff to put on the platform too, because we've been covering these players. We are excited about being there. We wish we could be there, but we can't. We can't even find the information. Can't find box scores.
How sad were players knowing that we weren't gonna be there?
Terrible.
Yeah, they were sad
because they knew that it was almost as if it would happen in a vacuum.
It is happening in a vacuum.
Because the people that they're trying to reach is not the same target audience.
I don't know what they're trying to do. Like, there's no, like you said, there's no box score. The most basic, like, I'm in this media group, right? I mean, I'm with the PR media person for baseball.
Hey man, I find out when you find out things.
So it's just like I'm looking at this group, and it's like they just like to send a bunch of flyers to people who already know what the game's going to be on. The schedule.
Find out things when you find out things,
and no one says anything about. Oh, there's a website here. I'm just seeing this.
Yeah, but the website.
But no one says anything about what's going on with the game.
And the reason why it bothers me is because I feel like we're at this for baseball, we're at this point where I remember basketball being years ago when they were fighting at the CBC level, right? Because that's where a lot of this starts. For baseball, I feel like they're at that moment now because of all the work that's been put in since Antoine and Albert and those guys started the whole trend of playing for Team Great Britain. And now we pretty much had Team Great Bahamas at the last WBC. And so playing for the Bahamian national team in baseball actually became a thing that young kids look up to, and it became a cool thing to do. I feel like we are right now at this moment where we have to get it done at this level to start moving up. Like, they need to do well at this tournament to go to the CAC games, to get to that next level, to start moving up regionally if the goal is to get to the highest level.
And that's what people don't realize with the basketball scene. So basketball was CBC Central Basket, and we went to Tournament Americas once. Right? CBC, Central Basket. CBC,
That's
Central Basket. You're back and forth. You're in purgatory of the lower level tournaments.
We're capped at Central.
Yeah.
Can't break through.
So even with basketball, because we made Central, they changed the format. We were able to then move up into that group automatically because we made Central. Central now all of a sudden they needed 16 teams to be in qualifiers. But also remember, basketball used to have zero content back in the day.
Zero.
And then when I said in 2016, hey, I can help y'all with this, now look at how basketball has started from used to be nothing
I tried
to now the NBA trying, they posted and tagging us.
I trying. It's tough. It's tough. And it's because this is such, like I said, this is such an important part that we're at right now. We can see that we have the talent level. We currently have an all-star in the MLB. We currently have one of the top recruits in minor league baseball. You have so many players that were in the minors pipeline who, may have been released recently or playing indie ball, but enough talent for us to feel that you got to have depth. This is baseball. We have enough talent around. You have so many teenagers now signing every year, so you're still getting to flood these minor league markets or collegiate ranks wherever you go. The talent is building. You got to have the business sense around it to have a structure to support that talent. But that's where I feel like we are going to fail at this. That's where it seems like we always come short with these things. I mean, as important as basketball is, they still fall short of things outside of the senior men's national team.
Yeah, of course. And the biggest thing is always going to be, and it's going to go to funding. You got to get money. And we have to support these guys before they make the strides to the bigger levels. Because when they do make it to the bigger levels, don't think there isn't going to be a financial burden or a struggle to keep it there.
Go back to understanding the moment and understanding why it's important. A few years ago at the CBC, Jazz was in the dugout helping to coach this team. Jazz was hands-on. Nobody understood the moment and how important that was because at that point he was in the Yankees all-star second baseman. People didn't get it.
No. He's just with the Marlins, man.
And I don't know. It's so many things we fall short on. We just don't get it.
Hey, that ain't important.
The face of the Marlins, but that's not important for a developing country in terms of baseball. Like, we can't wait until everybody else loves this before we do. So when it gets to the point now, you're going to want Sabas to play. You're going to want all these teenagers coming up. There could be an ex-Sabas right now, 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. Do you know how important it is for them to see the national team excel and for them to say, I want to be a part of this, for it to become the thing to do? But if we're always stuck at this, okay, we could finish 4th and 5th at the CBC and then
we could beat BI and be happy.
And we never could move up from here. Then what's the point? You know what? That's another excuse people are going to use. Is that the reason that they ain't showing up? I don't know.
No, I mean, people like stuff. Look at the Derby. The Derby gets a lot of people to come out because they make it into an event.
They also get their target demographic, which skews younger.
Exactly, which is the same demographic you need to get. Like when Kaiser and them played that one year, they had a couple of good, decent showings.
And they had to make the championship game against Cuba for that to happen.
Boy, ain't that something.
That's what had to happen. That's what it took for people to pay attention for our favorite, for it became a big deal because people saw a couple politicians of the game. Nothing made me more upset than that, for people thinking it's a big deal because they was there, because y'all place such an overinflated importance on these people.
People love politicians.
Anyway, but it took them getting to the championship game for that, right? But you also had MLB level players on that team, and they've always been a part of this from the very beginning. Like the baseball players are showing up. They've been showing out. I don't know what it's going to take.
You think if Jazz played, hypothetically, if Jazz were to play for this, they would sell out?
No,
I think the same thing.
I don't think so.
I think that people are more happy to watch him hit a home run with the Yankees, like a highlight, than watch a whole game.
I think they could have Jazz and Sebastian, and it wouldn't make a difference.
Boy. Meanwhile,
it would make a difference. I should specify Sebastian Walcott.
Yeah. Sebastian Walcott, not the one for Fort Charlotte.
Yeah, I mean, they would show up for that, though.
Yeah, boy. They showing up to Fort Charlotte Sebastian for plenty of things.
They would show up for that. I don't know if they...
I see he was doing a Christmas tree giveaway, and I say that could be buck out.
I don't know if they would show up for Walcott like that.
How many people in the constituency? Like 5,000 Christmas trees, plenty.
I don't know.
Merry Christmas.
I don't know. But, I mean, hopefully Team Bahamas makes it through, because I want to see them qualify for the CAC games.
Bigger events.
I need to see baseball develop beyond this point, because obviously 10th year seniors has stakes in the game.
What's the CAC's games this coming year?
Oh, that's in the Dominican Republic next year.
I don't know if you're going to get invited, though.
Invited? We ain't get invited here. We don't need invitations to go nowhere.
No.
All we do is pick up and go.
That's it.
When we come back, you got the Bud Light Easy Takes of the Week.
Stafford going to the end zone, reaching up and making the grab.
Bahamas, are you ready for the ultimate Bud Light football experience? Buy 2 6-packs of Bud Light at any Jimmy's Wines and Spirits location or at participating liquor stores, and you're automatically entered to win. You could score an all-expense-paid trip to watch the Dolphins game live. Don't wait. Grab your Bud Light and get in the game today. Bud Light is distributed by Jimmy's Wines and Spirits, who reminds you to drink in moderation.
Bud Light Easy Takes of the Week, and you know what this segment is like. Bud Light, easy to enjoy, easy to drink. We enjoy it at all times, not just when we're talking sports, not just when we're talking pop culture, but pretty much in every aspect of our life. And if you know 10YS, you know we have takes. We have takes about everything. We have takes that people argue about, but we want this segment to always be the takes that are easy.
An easy take is an easy argument sometimes.
It isn't an easy argument sometimes. I'm not... But it goes on both sides of the divide, but makes for great content. So for this segment, that's what we want to present to you. So we're going to have a series of takes, and you're probably going to have some that you want to send us. So as we always say, you can hit us up on info@10ys.com and send some of your easy takes. We'll discuss them here in this segment. You could tell us where we were wrong.
When this WhatsApp group coming out?
But a lot of things is be happening. I ain't gonna lie, because we were supposed to make the group. We were supposed to do the mailbag episode, but then we had a whole
time to do it with all the VJ and buddy stuff going on.
Yeah,
that's when people are gonna tune in.
We had a whole production we had to do for a week, and then right after that, we had to come here.
10 days.
Like, it has been a lot. But anyway, that's coming. That's on the way. Bud Light Easy Take of the Week. Let's start here. I feel like first down celebration should be done in all aspects of life. Like, after I have a crisp, refreshing Bud Light and I put that down on the table, I feel like I should just point first down.
Boy, I know about that. Like, I feel, okay, it depends on the situation. If you're down by 30, you can't do it. Like, it's just one of those things.
I think you got to have the audacity to do it at any point. I think you just got to stand on that.
Nah.
Let's say, okay, you go to pick up a girl at a bar. She offers to buy you a drink. You buy her a drink. Conversation goes well.
Type of thing this is, if she offered to buy me a drink, then I could let her buy me a drink.
No, I mean, I'm just saying, either way it goes. People have
This macho thing of course, you going macho thing with paying. I know.
Me?
Yeah.
Me? Anyway, Megan ain't listening. Anyway, so it goes well, right? Shouldn't you get to celebrate that? Like, you do a first down celebration. She gives you her number or she gives you her IG handle. Celebrate.
That's
first
a
down.
different moment than being down 30.
No, I'm saying I feel like this fits anywhere.
See, I want to say something, but I can't say it.
Then don't. We're on radio.
I'm not gonna say it.
Leave it for the podcast.
Yes. But no, I feel the first down celebration has to have a context of it's got to be it's got to mean something. If you're down 30 and you get a first down, unless it's if it's your first NFL catch and your first down, cool.
Oh, I'm taking it out of football. We're taking it out of football completely. We just want first down celebrations in the rest of life.
So you couldn't first down celebrate that press conference?
I should have. When you got the upgrade to business class, you should have done a first down celebration.
Oh, I did.
See?
But that's a big time thing.
This is
a big time moment.
This is how it works. Once we got the clearance that, hey, y'all are good to go for the credentials for the game, we should have went first down.
We had no time to think about that.
It
was cold.
I'm just saying, when you go to Trinidad and
there's plenty of first downs there.
You understand.
Plenty.
But like, easy take of the week number 2. Like, we good on the Shedeur Sanders thing, right?
He should be starting.
Like, I mean, we don't have to have
Shout
it.
Shout out to Dylan Gabriel, UCF legend, who sold socks before the NIL era. But
nice.
Yeah,
we don't have to have it as the lead and talk about it ad nauseum like everyone does,
QB,
right?
Let him finish out the season. End of story.
Yeah, like it's a horrible team. Whether he's good or not, whether he's average or not, who really can tell? How much does it really matter? Because it's the Browns.
You know what needs to be spoken about with the Browns? Miles Garrett.
Just Miles Garrett.
Miles Garrett.
Because when has the Browns quarterback not just Shedeur Sanders, other than them making that morally reprehensible decision to give Deshaun Watson all of the money, when has the Browns quarterback ever mattered? Maybe Vinny Testaverde was the last time. It just hasn't. It's a reason it's a running joke if people in Cleveland have, like, you've seen the jersey where they got like the 20 names on the back, because the quarterback of the Browns never matters.
Nope.
So for us to have this is the thing that, like, no, let's not have that be the lead of everything anymore.
We're done with the Browns. Miles Garrett for life.
We could be done with that. Like, watching Miles Garrett is crazy.
That's the thing. It's crazy.
Bud Light easy take of the week, number 3. The Clippers wrong, dog. The Clippers wrong for what they did with the CP3 thing. Like, that's just wrong, right?
It's business, bro.
Where do you come down on this argument, right? Because I've seen a lot of past NBA players talk about both sides of this. A lot of them have said that the Clippers are a horrible organization and this is just par for the course. And then you have others been saying, well, CP3 didn't know how to play his position no more. He was acting like he was the all NBA version when he's the 40-year-old who can't do those things anymore.
All right. CP3, his career trajectory took a hit when he told Dwayne Wade he wants to wear number 3 and you got to get a number for me to come to the Heat.
What a terrible choice.
That was a terrible choice. And then look what happened. Basketball is a business. I feel like, so CP3 and Kyle Lowry are in the same spot. And look how one is doing their job and the other one wants more.
This is the point that Gilbert Arenas was making, right? Because he said, think about Dirk in his last year with the Mavs when it was Luka's team. Dirk sat at the end of the bench, ain't say nothing.
Dirk was chilling.
Kyle Lowry chilling. Think about Eric in year 18.
Chilling.
But to be fair,
know your role.
That's never who CP3 was.
No, but okay, see, CP3 ain't LeBron. Right? LeBron is just
he sees himself in that stratosphere.
He's delusional and he deserved what he got. And that's the end of the story.
Yeah, look, there's no
this is the same team.
There's no consensus on this because people have such polarizing views of him.
This is the team that traded Paul George,
Yeah.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
They traded
had
Blake Griffin for nothing.
Had shell companies to pay people.
No-show
you
jobs.
You think that this is a surprise?
Yeah, and that's the point a lot of people is making. Let's go to Bud Light Easy Take of the Week number 3. The Giannis situation. Giannis, it came out that he was doing when people break up and they scrub their social media of everything that was there.
That's plenty work.
Yeah, plenty work because
you
it
think
wasn't
he has a team to do that.
Yes, of course. Giannis didn't sit there and do that because this is the thing. It's kind of easy to scrub IG, right? They scrub Twitter.
Move.
So you gotta go down and
I'll
go
just
to
delete
all
my
the
account.
Yeah,
and make a new one.
Exactly. So that's how you know, like, the team had to be dedicated to this. That's how you know how purposeful it was. And then shortly after, then you have the Sham story about his people are discussing finding their way out of Milwaukee, and then shortly after that, calf strain. And everybody knows by now, boy, calf strain. Gotta be careful because you know what happened next. So it came out that it wasn't Achilles, just calf strain. But if I'm Giannis, I take my time the rest of the year because for who, for what, right?
Of course.
This is the question though. This is the easy take. Does it shift the balance of power? Does he stay in Milwaukee?
No.
Or where does he go?
I feel like.
But does he go someplace where it shifts the balance of power?
He going somewhere warm.
I know how important that is now.
I don't think he going to cold. Like, it's gotta be warm. Like, it ain't gonna be Philly. I feel like Miami.
If he goes to Miami, you think that shifts the balance of power in the East?
Yeah, he's that good of a player.
You know where I want him to go? I want him to go to San Antonio.
Oh my God, that would be insane.
I do want him to go to San
Maybe
Antonio.
Dallas.
Maybe Dallas.
That'd be nice. Anthony Davis would be gone. Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, but
you can't spell Duke without UK.
That's a lot of success for Cooper.
How Cooper doing? Cooper got any game winners?
And you want him to get Giannis? I want him to get Giannis. Nope. Bud Light Easy Take of the Week number 3. I mean, sorry, not number 3. I forget what number we're on. It's over for the Chiefs.
Yeah, 4. Is it?
I feel like it's over for the
Chiefs.
Sure? Maybe not mathematically. What are they at? They have 6. Okay, they're at 6 losses, right?
Here's the thing with this, right? And you're saying this right now. Don't let them get to the playoffs, because you could be all in. Because you ain't betting against Mahomes.
I feel like it's over. I feel like it's over for the Chiefs, and maybe Mahomes is gonna be at the point where he's
6-6.
Maybe he's at the point where he's like Giannis. You could get in the playoffs with 7 losses. You go 10-7, you could get in. But now they have no more room for error. So I don't know.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't think they're done per se because, okay, you know what this will remind me of? This is going to remind me of the Warriors when they thought they were done. And maybe 2-3 years from now, he might get that next championship. It'll be unexpected, but it'll get. If they make the playoffs, then you can't count them out. You just can't do that, right? Especially if they play Buffalo because they'll beat Buffalo in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But they're out maybe for this year, but don't be surprised if they have that one in them.
And the teams at the top of the AFC don't really instill confidence in you just because of injuries and because we ain't seen them do it before, right? Like, the Colts already falling apart. Yeah, the Patriots are back, but the Patriots' offensive line is banged out. Yeah, shoots, you already talking me back into it. This was supposed to be an easy take. All right, Bud Light Easy Take of the Week. Fantasy football is great again.
Yes.
There are times when we take hiatuses, but we were back in fantasy football this year, and it's great again for several reasons. I'm sure you all have your own reasons. I have mine. I'm going to be in the playoffs in both my leagues. One, I'm going to be a number 1 seed. One, I'm the last seed in the playoffs, so hopefully I am the Chiefs and Mahomes. But fantasy football, great again?
Yeah. Well, anyways, we all know that this year I was forced into a fantasy league, right?
Thank you. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, and, I mean, I did my part. I tried to win. It's not like I tried to lose or anything, right? But I tried to do my part to win. The important thing is, I didn't make the playoffs, but I feel like the 4 best teams made the playoffs that in our league, So shout out to the 4 teams who made it. I would not be participating in this consolation bracket. I do not care anymore. I will not be setting up any lineups or thinking about anything fantasy football because you know what? I already lost. And fantasy football is great. Congratulations to the 4 teams. I think we might have a party for the 4 teams who are in this playoff run. And, you know, making the most moves in a season doesn't mean you're good at fantasy football.
That is, I mean, there's not much to add to that. You just gotta love sometimes when people get on their pulpit and just have to deliver a message to the masses. Bud Light Easy Take of the Week that we have been experiencing here. I totally understand seasonal depression and cold weather living. This is tough.
Yeah, no, I would be like 400 pounds if I lived there, at least.
This is tough to like just get out and do simple tasks. I gotta put on all 17 layers to go to the store. This is why Jeff Bezos became the richest man in the world.
You know how long it takes to heat up a car?
Yeah, that's another thing.
They crazy, they tripping.
Global
warming, as far as I know. But it was snow flurries today. I looked out the window and I saw some snow flurries. I said, geez.
What do you think of the benefits on the other side of living in some place like this?
There's no benefits.
Absolutely none.
None. Like, I don't see the benefits. Like, we went out the first night and had dinner, and then we went to a bar, and what did we see? Someone getting thrown out and say, I'm going to have a lawsuit against you. Then he comes back 2 minutes later to talk to the bouncer.
He didn't have a lawsuit, though.
He didn't have no lawsuit.
I think he went outside and realized, but it's cold.
You know why he did that? He didn't have any Bud Light. If he would have had a Bud Light, he would have been happier.
You could tell he did not have a Bud Light, because then he would have been cool. He would have been refreshed. He would have been calm. If I have one more Bud Light Easy Take of the Week. DA hits a game winner on Sunday.
Boy, this is going to be an interesting game on Sunday. I just feel, well, first of all, content's going to be a lot easier to get in this game. It's going to take 3 seconds for me to get the picture I need. End of story.
Yeah.
Rotations ain't going to matter.
Nope.
But I just hope it's a good game. It's going to be hard to top this game.
It's going to be, I mean, I don't want to say that it'll be impossible, but yes, it's going to be hard to
like
top
I say,
this game.
Easy Take of the Week, you're going with that. Easy Take of the Week, we got it again. And that's how blessed we are as a country and spoiled we are. And we cannot take these things for granted.
You know what else you can't take for granted? Your opportunity to win with Bud Light. Bahamas, Bud Light has your ticket to the big game. All you got to do, buy 2 6-packs today. Enter to win a trip to see the Dolphins play live. That's the Bengals game. You want to catch that one. Joe Burrow's back. Purchase yours today at any Jimmy's Wines and Spirits or any of their participating vendors. Your Bud Light Easy Takes of the Week. You could think about them. You could agree with them. You could disagree with them. The most important thing is that you get out there and get your Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. We'll be back.
Stafford going to the end zone, reaching up and making the grab.
Bahamas, are you ready for the ultimate Bud Light football experience? Buy 2 6-packs of Bud Light at any Jimmy's Wines and Spirits location or at participating liquor stores, and you're automatically entered to win. You could score an all-expense-paid trip to watch the Dolphins game live. Don't wait. Grab your Bud Light and get in the game today. Bud Light is distributed by Jimmy's Wines and Spirits, who reminds you to drink in moderation.
This Christmas, Everybody Wins Live is giving you a chance to win a gift of a lifetime. A brand new fully deeded home. From November 21st to December 26th, every time you play $10 or more, you're one step closer to the keys to your future home. More play means more entries and more chances to win big. Play in-store or online today. This holiday, go beyond winning. Go home for the holidays, only with Everybody Wins Live. Remember to game responsibly.
Welcome back to the Accredited, powered by 10th year seniors here on Guardian Radio 96.9. I'm Ronaldo, and you know what? I'm looking up on the bright side of things, and the outfits that you can put together when you layer, it's the benefit. That is the benefit of being in a cold weather place.
I'm John Mark, and we have such a sophisticated way to get recordings done.
Yeah, but that's what we do. What you mean? We always figure it out. I mean,
we got to figure it out.
That's
when you're sponsored by a great company like Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook, you got to make it work.
You have to make it work, and nobody makes it work better than Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook, the biggest, the best sportsbook in the country. When you want to cash out, you want to win big, listen, you got to go to Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook, and you can tell when someone's being a company man and giving a great read or really telling you about a product, because they always say, listen, because they really want you to hone in, right? So that's the place to play. You know that you want to win big this Christmas. You know you got a lot going on. Everyone's got a lot going on this Christmas. So, go to Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook. Place your bets. There are tons of attractions, tons of benefits to playing. You can go there, whatever it is. Whether we're going to be talking NFL, but whether you want to bet NBA, whatever you want to find, it's there on Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook. And they are responsible for this extended version of the Accredited. Your second hour is brought to you here.
The best hour of the day.
We're going to talk some sports betting. We're going to talk the NFL. We're going to tell you what we think is going to happen, fill you in on our picks, and get you set for an exciting week ahead. So, before we even get into any of that, we got to tell you about sports betting itself. And you got to learn how to bet. So, when we talk about this terminology, know what it is. Money line, of course, that is your winners and losers. When we say against the spread, the best way to describe the spread, if you think a team's going to, they could still lose a game, but if you think they're not going to get blown out, like say for instance, let's take it back to the Warriors 76ers game, right? The 76ers were favored by 5 going into that game. So the Warriors covered the spread. Warriors only lost by 1. So even though you still expected them to lose, they covered the spread. You would still cash out and win on that bet.
Technically, they won.
Technically, they won. If you bet on them to cover, then you won in the pockets. Let's talk parlays.
What?
Parlays. Parlays are when you string a series of bets together, and every one of them has to hit for you to cash out successfully. Now, it's a bigger risk, much more harder to get done, but
That payout,
and you know Everybody Wins Live's pays out on time and every cent. So that's that. Oh, and player props. Can't forget the player props, because sometimes you're not as sure about the winner or loser, but you are sure that this one player is going to do great. So take, for instance, Cowboys, Lions, Thursday night. Maybe you don't think the Cowboys were going to win, which they didn't. Maybe you were unsure about that, but what you were sure about is the fact that Dak Prescott was going to throw for 300 yards, and Dak Prescott was going to at least throw a touchdown.
he did all of that.
So your prop bet there would have hit. So that's what we're going to talk during this segment. We're going to figure a lot of things out. We're going to get you ready for an exciting Week 14. It's a lot of things that's winding down in this NFL season, John. We're looking ahead to the playoffs. Well, right now, if it's not this week, by next week, everybody should be in their fantasy football playoffs, which means the real playoffs are right around the corner, which means we got a lot to look forward to. So,
Yeah,
you were gonna dive into Week 14.
No, fantasy football is great. That's all I'm saying.
We did talk a bit about fantasy football in the Bud Light easy takes of the week, but now we're gonna talk about getting into the real playoffs. Now, your Week 14 started with the Dallas Cowboys and the Detroit Lions. Their playoffs started, I feel, 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
The Lions had 2 big wins now to keep things going. The Cowboys, it seemed like their playoffs started when they beat the Chiefs, but now they have had more ebbs and flows of pretty much any other team in the league, I feel. Like sometimes the Cowboys look like world beaters, and then they would lose another game the next week, and you're really just stuck in a lurch. So I don't know what either one of those fan bases are going to do. The Lions, I was worried about Amon-Ra St. Brown. But
Why were you worried about him?
On my fantasy team.
Exactly.
This is what happens. This is what forces it makes you a better fan.
But now I don't have to care. So now I get to enjoy football. Like I don't care what any of them do. I just get to watch good football.
Yeah. I will say that I feel like it makes you a better fan as long as you pay attention. Okay, so Week 14, let's go with our first game of the week on the 1 o'clock slate. Let's go Seattle Seahawks on the road facing the Atlanta Falcons. Seahawks favored by a touchdown. Over-under on this game, 44.5.
I mean, the Seahawks have been impressive the last couple times they played. By that I mean last week.
by last week, yes.
Yes, by last week.
Well, they did play against the Vikings, and who I feel like has to be the worst quarterback in the NFL, Max, whatever his name is. But that was a throwaway game.
Yeah, so the game that they lost, pretty much the last like significant losses have been teams who are in the playoff hunt.
Yeah.
So this is a playoff team, in my opinion. And I think that the Falcons just have too many injuries, and Pitts doesn't do anything.
How do you know Pitts doesn't do anything?
Because I had to pick him up in fantasy, and he definitely didn't do anything. But I feel this game is being played in Atlanta, so it's not going to be really that cold. It's in a dome. It's conditions are going to favor them, and I see them getting this dub.
You're going with Atlanta?
No.
Oh, okay. When you say, conditions are going to favor the Seahawks.
Yes.
Okay.
They used to play in rainy, cold weather.
Yeah. I mean, listen, Seattle has been one of the best teams in the league. Won 6 of their last 7 games. They lead the league in point differential. I mean, the last time we remember seeing them lose is like you said, they only lose to playoff teams. I think that was the Rams. And the Rams are a team that people think has the MVP and can go to the Super Bowl or at least the NFC Championship game. Atlanta has had ups and downs like we talked about with Dallas, but we know Michael Penix is done. It's now Kirk Cousins show the rest of the way.
Boy, Kirk Cousins have the best agent in NFL history.
He really does. There's nobody that has got more for less than Kirk Cousins.
Boy.
The Seahawks are facing one of the league's best defenses. Drake London will be out for a 3rd week in a row. How do you know everything about Drake London, John?
Because he also is on my fantasy team, and I mean, I feel like he's probably the main reason I didn't make the playoffs. He was so inconsistent.
He was hurt.
And then he got
when
hurt.
He was in.
Yeah, he was just whatever. But it is what it is. The four best teams made it in my league. I'm happy about that.
Yeah,
I'm rooting for everyone to win the championship. You know, it's good times.
I think the Seahawks do win this game, but I do think the Falcons cover it. I think that that touchdown on the road is big. Kirk Cousins I feel like he's already had the horrible Kirk Cousins game out of the way.
He is going to be horrible the rest of his career.
I never thought he was horrible, though. I thought he was just serviceable, but got paid like he was elite. I think that's the issue with Kirk Cousins. Cool. I mean, the Seahawks defense is great. I do think they're going to win this game. I just think at home, the Falcons keep it closer than we think it's going to be. Let's go to a big-time AFC North matchup that should have been, at this point in the season, this should have been cake. But anyway, my Baltimore Ravens hosting the Pittsburgh Steelers. Both of these teams come in at 6-6. I don't know how the Ravens lost last week. I don't know what is going on.
I can tell you how.
Lamar Jackson doesn't look normal. But anyway, hold on. Let me get through this. First, Ravens favored by 6. Over-under on this game, 42.5. Go.
AFC North is trash.
Yes, it is.
They are, I don't know what they would be the equivalent of, but they always beat up on each other. And we all know the Steelers were frauds. Yeah. We've been proven correct. We all know that Buffalo win against Baltimore, or that loss, doesn't look as good as it looked in the season, early in the season when we thought that was such a great game. Shout out to Zay Flowers for the only game he played this season. That was good. But, I mean, I feel that Baltimore is going to end up winning this game. I don't see Pittsburgh win. I think Pittsburgh is going to lose like the next 4 of the 5. That's including to the Dolphins. And Tomlin is going to have a losing record for the first time. Probably going to get fired. Hey, Miami's a nice place to live. I'm just saying.
You know the Dolphins were supposed to get him the first time around.
Yeah. What's his name?
Cameron.
No.
Oh.
The Steelers coach?
Mike Tomlin.
What's the Dolphins coach name?
Mike McDaniel.
We could just switch mics.
Oh.
That's all I'm saying.
So the funny story about that, they interviewed Mike Tomlin, and the Dolphins brass decided that he was too hip-hop. And they don't know if it fit their culture.
Boy, that too hip-hop would have been nice.
And they went with Cam Cameron and proceeded to have one of the worst seasons in Dolphin history.
In NFL history.
NFL history. Shout out to DeVar Darby.
Yeah, I got the Ravens winning this game.
So right now, I think the Steelers are going through the full Aaron Rodgers experience at this point in his career, right? You see him he took that one big hit last week, and then
His
the
nose was
picture in the
bleeding,
video that
yeah.
went viral was him just being completely bloody. And then it got to the point where he was berating the teammates, and we saw this happen at the end of the Packers run. We saw it happen with the Jets thing. This is just where he is right now, and like even outside of football, right? Doesn't it seem like Aaron Rodgers just became more miserable over time? Like he seemed like he became more of a miserable old man over time.
Is he detoxing? Is he clean?
I don't know. I think he has to be during the season, and that's probably why he's miserable. I don't know if he taken the ayahuasca.
Also, yeah, I know what it is, but he's done. His career's done.
Yeah,
he could have been a backup, a serviceable backup, but he's the Chris Paul of the NFL. He's about to get cut.
Wow. Yeah. So we thought the whole Mike Tomlin thing could never be undone, but the Aaron Rodgers thing is what does it.
Boy,
like that
went over.
Yeah, I think this is the time when the split happens. I think you're right. The Mike McDaniel reign comes to an end, and it comes to an end at the hands of Aaron Rodgers. Think about it like this: if they stuck around, well, I don't know. If they stuck around with the Justin Field, Russell Wilson experiment, are they still in this position? Did they upgrade this year from what they had last year?
I think it was a lateral move. But Russell wasn't the guy. If it was Fields, it would be a lateral move because, see, the difference is Tomlin knew how to play Justin Fields.
Yeah.
Where the Jets are just like...
Because Fields has not been good with the Jets. We know that. He lost his job to Tyrod Taylor.
They're expecting him to do something that he doesn't do, whereas Mike Tomlin is such a great coach. He's like, hey, guys, we're going to just, run these little short passes. Tight ends are going to get plenty of touchdowns and call it a day.
He had it working. I think the Ravens win, obviously, but over the last 3 games, Lamar, no touchdowns, 5 turnovers. He's clearly not well. He's not practicing. I don't know. I know he has to play for this team to get in the playoffs, but I'm looking ahead to the playoffs. Even if you get in, what chance do you have if Lamar just...
Aren't all these teams like 6-6 in this?
Yeah, both of these teams are 6-6.
And what are the Bengals?
The Bengals are 4-8.
Damn, if the Dolphins was in the AFC North, they would have been having a real shot.
The Bengals got a lot of work to do, but I do think the Ravens win. I think this game rests on the shoulders of Derrick Henry. Because the Steelers...
Or the hands of Derrick Henry.
Well, that too. This isn't the steel curtain defense that people think about. That is a thing of the past. So Derrick Henry can run over them and will run all over them. Steelers are giving up almost 400 yards a game, 28th in the league. So don't mind the uniforms. The Ravens defense can get right in this game. I think Derrick Henry is going to lead the charge, and rather than it being Lamar Jackson being the catalyst, I think Derrick Henry has to be the catalyst. Lamar has got to feed off that. The Ravens just re-upped with Mark Andrews, which I was not expecting. I thought
Kirk Cousins of tight ends.
I thought it was likely his job to have for the remainder of his career. I thought after Mark Jackson was pretty much the reason they lost to Buffalo, that would be it. But whatever. Ravens win this game, and I do think the Ravens win big. I think the entire Steeler thing implodes. Game on, Bahamas. The all-new Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook is where sports fans turn picks into play. From football to basketball and everything in between, we've got the odds that move with the game. It's fast, it's fun, it's built for players who know their stuff. So grab your picks, lock in your parlay, and feel the win with Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook. You know the game. You live for the rivalries. The buzzer beaters, the Hail Marys. At Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook, we're built for that energy because we're built for players. Better odds, faster action, smarter bets. Visit everybodywinslive.com or drop into an EWL location and feel the difference. Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook, built for players. Let's go to the Tennessee Titans and Cleveland Browns, the worst game of the week.
Thank you for starting that way.
Terrible game.
Because
go ahead.
I want to say, what do you think the starting price on tickets is?
$9.
Damn, you were close, but you would have been wrong if this was the price is right. $8. I bet you the fees to this game cost more than the tickets to this game.
$8?
$8 to go get yourself.
The Uber to get there costs more than the actual game.
$8.
This is what happens when a 3-9 team hosts a 1-11 team in Cleveland. I can only imagine what the temperature is going to be like. We talking about it here in Philly. I can only imagine.
Okay, you can get lower level seats for $93. End zone seats for $27. Like, I'm looking at this right now as we speak. Like, if you just wanted to watch a football game in the cold, this is the game to do it.
I don't even want to watch this on TV. Like, I had a moment there where I was just thinking about it and like, what is the... Anyway, Browns are favored by 4.5. Over under on this game, 33.5. So nobody expects any offense to do anything in this game.
Watch this be the highest scoring game of the season.
So I think the headline here and the storyline everyone has to watch is really just Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, right? They obviously have the relationship off the field. They train and work out together. They had a couple of viral clips from them training in the offseason in Miami. But then once the NCAA season started, they kind of went on divergent paths. Cam Ward became the Heisman Trophy winner, number 1 overall pick. We all know the story of Shedeur Sanders at the draft, fell to the 5th round, blah, 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 blah. But it's been a forgettable year for Cam Ward.
Boy, this is a hard game for you to pick, though.
Why?
These quarterbacks.
What do you mean? Hold on. Where are we going so far? Let me see. Recap the first two. I picked the Seahawks, and then I picked the Ravens. Okay. You also picked both of those teams as well. So
yeah.
Maybe you only root for black quarterbacks. Now you're about to pick a black quarterback in this game. So, I mean, we could say the same thing about you. I'm keeping track this week. Anyway,
okay, we'll keep track as we're gonna
keep track as we keep going.
I hope Tennessee could win this game.
I really think Tennessee's going to win this game. I want Tennessee to
win this game because I need Tennessee to win because I just feel bad for Cam Ward. I don't really feel that bad for Shedeur, but I do think Shedeur needs to be the starter for the rest of the year. But it was an easy take earlier in the show. We can stop talking about him.
Yeah, like I'm so the reason why, and when you're drafted number 1 overall, this isn't like basketball or sometimes we always say that's the last NBA draft class. You see how those top 3 picks went into those great positions. Dallas looked like a better position when they was healthy, but Dylan Harper.
I know who would have made that team better.
Dylan Harper, we could have been in Dallas right now. Anyway.
What's the weather in Dallas? Continue.
Dylan Harper going to the Spurs and then VJ going to Philly. Wow. All of those teams got really injured. But anyway, they were perceived as good.
50 degrees.
I cool with that. Literally. Anyway, they were perceived as good landing spots, right? When you're the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft as a quarterback, they draft you to come in and be the savior. And that team is usually trash.
Basura.
This team is trash. The Titans, fewest points per game in the league, just over 2 touchdowns. Worst point differential in the league. The game they won a game that had to be the most comical win that any team has ever had.
A win is a win.
Yeah. Even their win was a loss. And that was the only one that they had. So think about it. They really should be 0-12. They really should be 0-12. And what is Cam Ward going to do? Like, we talked about it earlier in the show. Like, Shedeur Sanders shouldn't be the story. The story should be Myles Garrett, the Defensive Player of the Year frontrunner.
Myles Garrett is good.
He's about to win.
I would
the
pay $8
record.
to watch him.
Yes, I too would pay $8. He may get the sack record this game, actually.
Oh, that'd be good.
He may get the sack record this game, and I can say that I am literally afraid for Cam Ward.
How many games is it into the season right now?
This is week 14.
So, okay. I really hope he breaks it soon so then he could have, like, the sack record in 16 games so they can't say, because he added another game, blah, blah, blah.
He needs 4 more to beat the single season record of 22.5.
Oh, yeah, he got it.
He may get 5 this game.
Yeah.
There's also a draft implication with this game. Both teams have top 5 draft picks. So this is a big win. This is a big win or loss for either team in terms of where they land in the draft standings. I'm going with you with this. I think the Titans win this game. I think Cam Ward shows out. I think Cam Ward actually has an opportunity to show out just because looking across the field and seeing Shador. He doesn't. Whoever loses this game has to live with the fact that the media is gonna just pit them against each other.
How about the media doesn't care about this game?
They shouldn't.
Just don't care. This ain't VJ versus Buddy. They only cared after the game, though.
That's us. Yeah, I'm going Titans.
Yeah, I want to go Titans. Just based on, I want Miles to get the record, but I just want Cam to win.
Let's move on. Indianapolis Colts and Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars hosting this one. Jaguars also the underdogs at home. Colts favored by 1.5. So not real underdogs because
the Colts used to be going to the Super Bowl. There's a voice note that was floating around. In the
it
Bahamas.
Still floats around quite a bit.
Floats around when the win happens.
And I'm sure if the Colts win this game, that is going to be floating around again.
Of course.
The problem with this is, though, Daniel Jones has been playing kind of subpar recently. Daniel Jones also is playing with a fractured fibula. I don't know if that's something you should be playing football with.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Myles Garrett would break that.
Anyone. They all 6'3", 287 pounds. Anyone. I don't understand how people think this is safe for him to go in there and play with this.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. It's in Jacksonville. I'm gonna go with the Jaguars because they seem to know how to win these games for some reason. They lose the ones they should win, and they win the ones that you think are going to be close. Because didn't they smack the Chargers the other day?
Agreed. And so I feel like we say that about so many teams in the NFL this year, but I think the same thing though, because I don't know what they're getting out of Daniel Jones the rest of the way, and I don't know.
I just hope he stays healthy.
How can he? He's playing football with a fractured fibula. He's a ticking time bomb. It's not a matter of if he's going to get hurt or if he's going to be out. He absolutely is going to get hurt. He absolutely is going to be out. So they should be thinking already, are we packing in the rest of the season or are we keeping our hopes alive? What happened with Anthony Richardson? He's still there.
Didn't he break his collarbone or something?
So who's their quarterback?
If it was Anthony Richardson, I know who you were picking. But I don't know who the quarterback. Oh, no. I'm thinking of last year's roster.
In the last few weeks, Colts have averaged 12 fewer points per game than they did over the first 2 months. So this is
Riley Leonard.
That's the dude from Notre Dame or Duke?
Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Or they're cooked. Anthony Rich is on the IR.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, I don't know. Daniel Jones hasn't been playing great, right? But you still have a much better chance that you're going to do with Riley Leonard. So I think Riley Leonard eventually plays maybe even as soon as this game, whether it's for the fibula or performance, because Daniel Jones has reverted to whatever he was doing in New York. I'm taking the Jaguars in this one. Jonathan Taylor is going to do enough to keep the Colts in the game, but I think the Jaguars do win. Do we, as a football society, have we decided on Trevor Lawrence?
I still believe in him. I think he has his moments. Is he elite? No. But I believe enough that he can lead a team to where it has to go, especially if he doesn't have to play a Patrick Mahomes, a Josh Allen type thing. He's got the weapons.
Yeah, maybe at this point we've seen enough to say that, yeah, the flashes will always be there. But then what also comes with flashes is it's not a consistent light, right? His passer rating is only 81.6, and that's the fourth Lowest among all quarterbacks in the league, which you never would have expected out of Trevor Lawrence when he was coming out, right? Because he was supposed to be the next one. But he's going to be the one this game. I think the Jaguars win, and I think the Colts do more soul-searching, and we don't hear that voice note this week.
I hope I hear it.
Let's move on to Washington Commanders versus Minnesota Vikings. Surprise in this game. Vikings favored by 2.5. Over under on this game 42. And I just saw coming across the wire as we are recording this. And we brought it up last, or maybe a few weeks ago, whether Jaden Daniels was going to come back. And apparently, Jaden Daniels is coming back.
What is he made out of?
Toradol.
All right, so you're going with Washington. We don't really have to go over the details.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Minnesota's a funny team. Their defense sometimes the clicks, and sometimes, they're on a 4-game losing streak now. Boy, their offense have been doing nothing. Yeah, I'm gonna go Ronaldo on this one and pick the Commanders on winning. I think Daniels is gonna, they've been playing some pretty good ball with Marcus Mariota, and Daniels just gonna take them over the top.
Huh. So, you think that the black quarterback's gonna win? You're picking the.
I'm going with your pick.
You're
Yeah.
picking the. I didn't say what my pick was yet. I'm going over my analysis of the game right now.
You may now tell us what your pick is.
No, we're gonna do show Vikings. Whatever. I hope Max Prosper's not starting again because
This is a great way to start it, guys, knowing where he's going to go.
no, listen. That was one of the worst football experiences we saw. I think he was only as bad. He was about as bad as Nathan Peterman. Remember when Nathan Peterman was out there throwing
so much
like seven?
interceptions.
Prosper,
Love that guy.
That dude did the same thing for the Vikings last week, and I don't even know if JJ McCarthy makes a difference. I feel bad for Justin Jefferson.
Okay.
Vikings not gonna win this game.
Mm-hmm.
The Commanders are gonna win this game.
Okay. I knew it, yeah.
And I think the Commanders are gonna win big.
Oh, look at that.
I think the Commanders are gonna win.
This is
big.
not shocking to me at all.
All right. Let's move on. Miami Dolphins on the road facing the New York Jets.
Now, here's a tricky one.
Horrible.
This is a
AFC
terrible
East.
game, right? We know how the Dolphins play in cold weather.
Dolphins favorite. So -6. So I am the Dolphins. Dolphins favored by 2.5. Over under on this game set at 41.5.
All right. So I'm going to go Ronaldo on this one again and pick the Jets because I feel like Tyrod Taylor changes the dynamic of the offense. Completely changes the dynamic of the offense. He could throw the ball. He could throw the ball forward, right?
He could throw the ball forward.
He has also have a history of playing the Dolphins when he was with the Buffalo Bills. He is a great game manager, and he's able to get the job done. If I walk outside now, I'm going to be cold, so I know how the players are going to feel. And what we were talking about yesterday is not the cold. It's getting hit and falling on the ground. That's the problem when it comes to the football. So I'm going with Ronaldo on this one. With the Jets, Tyrod Taylor's going to, the Jets are going to be on a little streak now. They get some juice in the blood for saying, hey, we can actually win these games. The last game against the Dolphins wasn't that much of a blowout. I just think the Jets got better once they put Tyrod Taylor in.
They did get better. The game against the Falcons is something that would not have happened with Justin Fields and was not happening with Justin Fields. You are right at how tricky this is. Because Tua
Don't like the cold.
but has been great against the Jets.
In the cold?
Tua's never lost to the Jets.
Okay.
6-0 as a starter
There's
against
always
the
a
Jets.
time to start.
But
You will agree with that one.
Miami's record in road games December or later under Mike McDaniel, 2-9. 2-9. Jets started the season 0-7, have won 3 of their last 5.
Mm-hmm.
Dolphins have a league best 176 rushing yards per game since week 10.
Shout out to Echan.
New York, one of the worst rush defenses in the league.
Yeah, it was the worst rush defense in the league because they were on the field the whole game.
I think Tua goes to 7-0 against the Jets.
No, you do not. No, you do not. He is not saying this with a straight face.
I think the Dolphins win this game.
Oh, okay.
I think the Dolphins win this game. And I am surprised that you are going to say caveat here that Tua is still a minority. I think the Dolphins win this game though. It's gonna take so much to actually believe that the Jets are going to just outright win a game, even though it's against the Dolphins.
Okay.
You know what the Dolphins have, and this usually happens.
Nothing.
All right, never mind. Just move on.
The Dolphins have nothing.
Speaking of having nothing, New Orleans Saints on the road against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and boy, this is a game that the Bucs need bad.
And I think this might be one of the easiest games to pick this week.
This has to be. Buccaneers favored by 8.5,
Yeah.
over under 41.5.
It's one of the biggest lines of the week, tied for the biggest lines if I'm looking at this correctly. They have to have it. And the Saints are not a good team. And the reason why I picked the Jets over the Dolphins is because the way that the Dolphins played against the Saints. They barely got that one.
They really did.
So I feel Tampa Bay is going to win this. And they're going to win by more than 8.5.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. I think
this is going to be a statement game because they are already in the lead in the division, and they're just going to make a statement saying, now we win in the division, y'all can get ready for the NFL draft.
Tampa, clearly, I think they cover the spread with this. And if they don't, then maybe the Panthers deserve the division. Speaking of which, right? Like, we went into the season thinking Buccaneers could walk away with the NFC South.
I mean, they still will, but anyways.
Now, all of a sudden, the Panthers in the fight with them. The Buccaneers, and to be fair, and this happens to
Panthers,
everyone, right?
ultimate spoilers.
Everyone in the NFL is hurt. It's football. Football is football.
I'm hurt.
But the Bucs had it worse than anybody else, I feel, though. Like, the Bucs have been terrible. They're just actually starting to get healthy again. Just getting Bucky Irving back, and Ibuka is back. I don't think Mike Evans ever coming back, but, you know. Tampa Bay can get healthy at the right time. 3 of their last 5 games are against sub-500 teams like the Saints. And I don't think the Saints have a chance of doing anything in this game. So, like John said, Bucs win big. Easiest play of your parlay. This one is an interesting game next. Talking about cold weather, we are heading to Orchard Park, New York. Buffalo Bills hosting the Cincinnati Bengals. Don't mind the Bengals 4-8 record. This is Joe Burrow's Bengals.
This is the most interesting game of the week because this is really going to tell us everything about Buffalo, right? Mm-hmm. I think they're done.
I think they're done.
I think they're cooked.
8-4?
8-4. No, I mean like when I mean done, like they're not going to go to
Super Bowl window's
yeah,
done.
Yeah, the Super Bowl window's closed. Ronaldo needs the Bengals to win for the Ravens' purposes, which is a true statement.
That's a true statement.
Since he's a big Ravens fan. If Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow get on the same page, it's over. The biggest problem Josh Allen has this year is his wide receivers are just inconsistent. I'm going with the Bengals this game. I think that the Bengals are going to come out with more fire with Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow is going to have something to like. They're not making the playoffs, so this is their Super Bowl. This is their playoffs to spoil Buffalo's season.
I agree with a lot of your sentiment. Here's the thing, though. What are the only games that Josh Allen gets up for?
Yeah, I know you did one whole little segment thing. I was there when you did it with the Guru picks. I don't care.
He gets up for these games. If this was just the Bengals, of Joe Flacco, if this was the Bengals of who was the guy before Joe Flacco, who was terrible and they had to trade for him. Anyway, I can't remember. But if this was any other version, if this was a game that the Bills should easily win, then I would say, you know what, Bengals might have a chance. Catch the Bills slipping. I think at the very least, this 5.5 point spread is a lot. I think the Bengals cover that. If the Bills win this game, I don't think they win by more than a field goal. Mm-hmm. So I do think the Bengals will cover. And you got to remember, this is Jamar Chase is going to be back from suspension, so this is the first time him and Joe Burrow actually get to play together since
forever. But where's your butt? Waiting for the butt.
No, there's no but. I think the Bengals cover. Does it always have to be a money line pick? I can't just say pick them to cover.
You can't. You got to say who winning, who losing.
I think Buffalo wins.
Okay.
I think the Bills
win. It's a cop out if you're just saying I think they cover.
No, it's not. It's not a cop out. Sometimes that is the bet that you have to make.
Okay. Yeah, but you still have to tell because some people are big fans might say I'm not money lining this game. I'm doing a straight bet. I need to know what's happening.
Fair enough. Hard to pick against Josh Allen at home. That's all I'm saying. I mean, Joe Burrow's not had a lot of time back. Josh Allen, 11-1 in regular season home games played during this time of year, December and January. This is their season, man. This is the
season to be jolly.
This is their time when they get things done.
I wonder if it's going to snow there.
It's Orchard Park, New York. My guess is probably.
You know the game. You live for the rivalries. The buzzer beaters, the Hail Marys. At Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook, we're built for that energy because we're built for players. Better odds, faster action, smarter bets. Visit everybodywinslive.com or drop into an EWL location and feel the difference. Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook, built for players. Game on, Bahamas. The all-new Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook is where sports fans turn picks into play.
From football to basketball and everything in between, we've got the odds that move with the game. It's fast, it's fun, it's built for players who know their stuff. So grab your picks, lock in your parlay, and feel the win with Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook. All right, this looks surprising every time I look at it. We're going to the Denver Broncos versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Denver is 10-2. Raiders are 2-10. This is the easy. I am surprised that this ain't the biggest line of the week.
Yeah, I would have thought. I mean, I know you were a little hesitant picking this game at first, but I know.
What do you mean?
I agree with you. The Broncos will win this game. The Raiders just really.
Broncos favored by 7.5. Over under is 40.
Yeah,
Why would I be hesitant to pick this game?
Geno Smith, Bahamian. Yeah. So the Broncos just are winning games, and sometimes it just becomes contagious and culture to win games. Like, it's nothing spectacular that you're doing. You just happen to win them. And I feel if you're able to win these games and you win close games, it bodes better for you for when you get to the playoffs because you've been in those situations before. So I think that R.J. Harvey's going to have a big game, at least 2 touchdowns. They've been putting him more in the offense lately. And I think they win by at least 10 against the Raiders. I don't think the Raiders are that good.
The Raiders aren't that good, and it's because Geno Smith is in a race with Tua for the league-leading interceptions. Mm-hmm. They have the worst run game in the league, and let me ask you this. Do you see shades of the Trent Richardson comparison with Ashton Genty? Because a lot of people were saying, oh, Trent Richardson came in with this hype, was drafted high by the Raiders out of Alabama, didn't live up to anything, and they see like a correlation with that happening again with the Ashton Genty thing.
It doesn't help
that your
when your team sucks.
Yeah. It doesn't. So,
you know who I was super, like, direct player comp is Jay Ajayi. And Jay Ajayi was a beast.
Yeah.
And Jay Ajayi had good offensive lines.
When he played with good offensive lines, you saw what he did. He was in Miami, made a name for himself, went to Philly and won a Super Bowl.
Shout out to Philly.
Y'all cool.
Except the weather.
Yeah. Yeah, the problem with the Broncos is sometimes don't you feel like they play like to the level of their competition?
Yes, but I also feel that you can't get worse than the Raiders level.
You can't get worse than the Raiders. They ain't playing down that far level.
No.
So, yeah. I don't know, though. Marcus Mariota almost had them. He took them to overtime.
Marcus Mariota almost had the Dolphins, too.
Can I say the Raiders cover?
No. Yes, you can, but then you got to say who wins.
I think the Raiders cover, and I think the Broncos win. I think the game's going to be closer than we expect it to be. And you know why?
Yes.
Because of the 12th man in Vegas.
The 12th man. Oh, my God.
They better fly
the ranches?
They better fly in immediately.
Oh, those on horse ranches?
Right before, depending on your accent or how you say horse, they better fly in immediately right before tip-off and not give anyone time to rummage around and see what Vegas has to offer.
Especially that's a 4 or 5, so that's a 1 o'clock game. Yeah, on their side of the world.
Big-time NFC North rivalry up next. The Chicago Bears versus the Green Bay Packers. Bears come in at 9-3. Packers 8-3-1. Packers favored by 6.5. That's kind of
I don't get it because
kind of big.
I have Chicago winning this outright.
Over under on this game 44.5. I was surprised just going to that 6.5.
I think Chicago's run game is so good right now that helps Caleb Williams, and that's going to be enough for them to be able to pick apart the defense and win this game by a field goal.
I think the Bears control time of possession better than most teams in the league, other than the Lions are another good one to do it. And the correlation there is they got 2 really good running backs that do kind of the same thing. Caleb Williams has surprisingly been more consistent this season than Jordan Love.
Yeah, the Green Bay, I don't know what's wrong with them.
Yeah,
Green Bay reminds me of Buffalo. They're dysfunctional, but they happen to have wins.
When Jordan Love has his peak games, it looks incredible, but they haven't been across the board. Like Caleb Williams he hasn't had the peak games that Love has had, but steadily across the board, Caleb Williams.
Shout out to Caleb Williams. Shout out to Chicago, except their traffic because they got traffic 24/7 there. But yeah, I think the Bears are going to win. I'm kind of happy for the Bears because they've been in such mediocrity for all these years. And now finally, they're one of those cities I feel like, even with baseball, when the sports teams are doing well, except the Bulls, no one really cares about the Bulls.
I mean,
y'all, see, this is what happened. Y'all had your glory with the Bulls, and then everything just trickled behind. Like,
they got everything else. Even the Cubs won.
Yeah.
They broke the curse.
They didn't get the football one, though, the NFL.
They had it in 85.
Rex Grossman.
They got closer to Rex Grossman. How much more does Caleb Williams have to do before he's the best quarterback in Bears history?
I don't know, because the quarterback in Bear history hasn't really been like any greats.
It's Rex Grossman.
Yeah.
They won with Jim McMahon. He was below average by
anyways
single measurement.
Happy for him. Happy that because a lot of people were hating on him. Shout out to Caleb Williams and the Bears.
This is a very tough game to pick.
Yeah, I know it is for you.
You know what? Yes, because both of them are my fantasy football quarterbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And I was struggling with this because I don't even know who I'm going to start. And I feel like I'm going to wake up Sunday morning before we get ready to head to the Laker game, and then I'm going to figure out who I start in fantasy football. And I feel like that will determine who I think is going to win this game.
So, who's going to win? This is the question.
We are really
of the
living
day.
in an age where the Bears get a chance to clinch the division title. No, the conference title.
The conference?
Yeah, the Bears can clinch.
Wow. Damn, that's first place, first seed. So, but they don't clinch it with this win.
They don't clinch it with this win.
No. Shout out to the Bears. I think the Bears are going to win. I wanted great hopes for Green Bay when Olivia went up there with Sterling with the Hall of Fame thing. We saw her on TV. It was great. But no, they don't deserve it.
I think the Bears win this game too.
Mm-hmm.
I actually go with it.
Is it because of one particular mother, or is it?
No, it's honestly just because I feel like I have a confidence in Ben Johnson that I don't know. It's
okay. Ben Johnson
confidence.
doing this with the Bears is impressive.
I have a rational confidence in Ben Johnson because I mean, obviously he had to leave. But if he was still with the Lions, the Lions should have taken advantage of that and won that Super Bowl when he was still there. But him doing this, he took the right job because he could have went anywhere. And he said, you know what? The pieces are in place with this. I have the quarterback. The defense is one or two pieces away. And he's been proven right. So I take the Bears to win this game on the road. Packers upset their fans once again. Continuing on the 4:00 slate, Los Angeles Rams against the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray is done for the season. Officially, he was kind of done for the season. Unofficially already. Rams favored big in this one, 8.5. This ties the Bucks Saints for the biggest line of the week. Over under on this game, 47.5 points.
Tickets are $21 for this game. I know you believe in Jacoby.
I believe in Jacoby's ability to get big fantasy numbers for Trey McBride, who I have on my team.
Anyways.
And he has been.
The Rams got beat by the Panthers last week.
Panthers are real.
Panthers snuck up on them, and I feel that there is
snuck?
no way that the Rams are going to allow for the Cardinals to beat them.
Yeah, the worst part about this for the Cardinals is it sucks that the Rams are now hyper-focused after letting that game go.
Yep.
Panthers ruined a whole lot of parlays because the Rams came into that game at 9-2. Rams look like the best team in the NFC by far. Everybody had Matthew Stafford at the top of the MVP ladder, and they probably still do. But they were out of sync against the Panthers. They were vulnerable. Stafford looked the worst he's looked all season. But you're right. I don't think anything remotely close to that happens again. I think they cover this spread. They beat the Cardinals by 2 scores, I think.
Oh yeah, okay. When I heard you say cover the spread, I thought you were doing a cop out.
No.
But I see.
Yeah,
I agree with you on that one.
Yeah, spread 8.5.
2 touchdowns at least.
You know the problem with what happens with Jacoby Brissett? He plays well when he comes in there as the backup, and the fan base still has the starter to dislike. But now you know Kyler Murray ain't coming back. So you the starter now.
Elongated throw ain't gonna help him.
Now you got all the pressure. Now
Backup
you are the
quarterback's
guy.
the best position.
Best position. You playing free. Now you got all of that. So I don't know. I mean, I still need you to put up points for Trey McBride. I will still put it over for Marvin Harrison Jr. in my parlay. But yeah, Rams win. Rams win big. Let's head on to Sunday night. This is a huge game.
$39 tickets. That shocked me.
This is a
at
huge
Arrowhead.
game, and we talked about it during our easy takes. But every game from now on is a playoff game for the Chiefs.
Yes. And
Actually, that started maybe 2 weeks ago.
yeah, when they lost to Buffalo.
Yeah,
Because they had to win that one against Buffalo to be able to like get comfortable.
and then losing the Cowboys game means you have no room for error.
No room for error now.
So Chiefs hosting the Texans. Chiefs at 6-6. Texans come in at 7-5. Chiefs favored by 3.5. Over under 41.5.
Houston has been doing really well.
That defense is incredible.
Yeah, it's been one thing that I don't know how they figured out how to do what they do, but there's only one problem.
What's that problem?
The problem is called Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes
Sound like me?
is by far right now the best quarterback we've seen the last couple of years. Hands down. I still get shocked when I hear him talk because of his voice.
I mean, that's never going to go away.
It's never going to go away. But I do not see them losing this game on a Sunday night at Arrowhead Stadium with the opportunity of owning a tiebreaker against the Texans. Chiefs are going to win, and they're going to win by at least 10. Travis Kelce's going to come out and play well. Rice is going to catch a couple touchdowns.
Those shovel passes.
Yeah, just those
Always
easy
catch the
touchdowns.
shovel pass.
And Kareem Hunt's going to have a big game too. But he's going to have a big game not rushing. He's going to have a big game catching screen passes.
The issue with your assessment is that this Houston defense is like nickname level great. And I understand we are going to have this belief in the Chiefs until the Kings are officially dead. This Houston defense is so good. It's so good.
Yeah,
Like,
but the rushing defense is 23rd.
and the Chiefs are one of the worst.
They've been
rushing
picking it up the
teams
last
in the
couple of
league.
weeks.
I don't have the confidence in Kareem Hunt that you do. Maybe if Isaiah Pacheco was still the guy he was like a couple of weeks ago, but a couple of years ago, D'Amico Ryans is one of those type coaches where the team kind of takes on his identity. And I remember when he used to play, I feel like they kind of play like that. I thought the Texans were going to fall apart when C.J. Stroud got hurt. Davis Mills came in there, won 3 games. C.J. Stroud came back. They still win it. And a lot of that is because of this defense. Now the AFC feels wide open. I don't know. You have that much confidence that the Chiefs are just going to railroad them and score
I was
all
looking at
these
the wrong
points?
stat. Yeah, no, I think the Chiefs are going to win. Like, I just, it's one of those things where I feel they're going to wake up and play this game.
Brace yourself for this.
Braced.
This is something that I've never said before on the Accredited
Uh-oh.
or on any platform.
Who's the starting quarterback for the Texans?
C.J. Stroud.
Okay. So we're still safe.
Brace yourself. Never said this before.
Patrick Mahomes slander's coming?
It's not slander. I think the Texans win this game.
Okay. I mean,
I think
it's believable with who's playing quarterback, but yeah.
I think the Chiefs thing is ready to be done. And maybe it's not done completely, but it's done for this year. I do like what you said earlier about the fact that they can retool because it's not that far gone. As long as you have that guy, as long as you have Patrick Mahomes, you could still get things done. But yeah, I think the Texans put pretty much the nail in the coffin for this. Right now, the probability for the Chiefs to make the playoffs is at 34%. They win this game, that goes up. If they lose, it's at 11%.
So they ain't losing.
That's slim to none that it doesn't happen.
But it ain't zero.
I think CJ Stroud puts the nail in the coffin in this one. Finally, we had two Monday night feature: the Philadelphia Eagles Philadelphia Eagles
not hosting. That's why Philadelphia's cheap right now.
Sorry, on the road, facing the Los Angeles Chargers. Both teams at 8-4. One of these I'm surprised they're 8-4 because I think the Eagles should be better than that, and the Chargers I'm surprised they're 8-4 because I figured they would be worse than that. Eagles favored by 2.5 on the road. Over under on this game 41.5.
Well, Herbert's hurt. When not 100%. I don't see. I mean, they had a bad loss last week. The Chargers lost last week to. No, they beat the Raiders. They had a bad loss with the Jaguars. That was a bad loss. I think the Eagles are going to win this game. And realistically, it all depends on Herbert's status. Because if he has an injury and he's not playing at 100, I don't see it.
Yeah, there's too much going on with Justin Herbert and his injured hand. So to give a little more insight on what John was talking about, he had a plate and screw inserted to stabilize his fractured hand, his left hand, his non-throwing hand.
I don't care.
No, I agree. Like, people would see that and they'd say, "Oh, it's his non-throwing hand. Less of a big deal." No, you're still playing football with this. And for you to just get screws inserted on Monday and then a week later you playing an NFL football game, that just to me doesn't bode well for performance, right? Do you know who the Chargers backup is if Trey Lance can't? I gave it away.
Trey Lance is the backup. That's my guess. Trey Lance.
Yes. So
what do I win?
I didn't know he was still even in the league.
But we did that last time, and it's DJ Unligati or whatever. He was a Clemson quarterback.
Oh God, like that good.
Like that's far.
Kudos to you for even first kudos. Kudos to you for even trying to pronounce that, because I wasn't gonna say anything. He like my boy from UB. He's just CJ. So he could have just been DJ. But yo, if everything hinges on Justin Herbert, and they've been good in the run game with Omari and Hampton. He's gonna be back, but
is he still on injured reserve?
He's going to be back. They had Kimani Vidal did a really good job. He was a great fantasy pickup while Hampton was out. He is going to be back, but there's too much. Everything revolves around Justin Herbert, right? So, like, the Eagles are one of those teams. If something happens to Jalen Hurts, I feel like they'd be all right. I feel like they may be even, I don't want to say they'll be a little better, but. No, they won't be better.
No.
I don't even know who their backup is.
Yeah.
But Saquon has to have the signature game at some point, right? Like, we've been waiting. I feel like we've been waiting on
If
that
Saquon did not
season.
win MVP last year,
What would we be saying about him?
no running back will ever win MVP
No.
in the history of the league ever again.
I thought about it when the Jonathan Taylor conversation came up, and yeah, that's not gonna happen. But is his decline this season, is that just because teams are really just keying in on him that much? Or is it just
Post Super Bowl winning? Once you win the show, especially I feel like you get in a position he's financially straight. He was able to leave the Giants. He was financially straight before that. Yeah, but he was able to leave the Giants. He got his Super Bowl. Sometimes it's just like I taking the year off.
Well, unfortunately for him, he can't. His team is 8-4 is in the fight. I do think the Eagles win this game, though. I think they win this game. For the same reason, I can't believe in the Colts this week because your quarterback is hurt. Justin Herbert just having surgery and playing with that. You know how NFL.
But you know what surgery is, and they just do it anyways.
Don't end up on a pile.
Yeah,
because somebody just stepping on their foot. That'll do it for this week of the Accredited. Bet responsibly with Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook. I hope everybody wins big. I hope everybody has an incredible Christmas based off you listening to what we just gave you right here in this segment. And hopefully you join us next week with the Accredited when we're back home. Well, some of us will be. Y'all stay tuned. Some fans watch. Real fans play. Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook turns every match, every shot, every score into your moment. The better you know the game, the better you play. Now with smarter features and a bigger experience, Everybody Wins Live Sportsbook, built for players who live the game.
This Christmas, Everybody Wins Live is giving you a chance to win a gift of a lifetime. A brand new fully deeded home. From November 21st to December 26th, every time you play $10 or more, you're one step closer to the keys to your future home. More play means more entries and more chances to win big. Play in-store or online today. This holiday, go beyond winning. Go home for the holidays only with Everybody Wins Live. Remember to game responsibly.